So, to go on from this morning about the Proverbs 31 woman, the Isha Chayil, there's so many examples in the Bible of this kind of woman. And I want to kind of talk about a story where there's two of this kind of woman in the same chapter, in the same story. In Judges chapter 4, so Israel was suffering under the king of Canaan. And Deborah, the wife of Lapidoth, a woman prophetess, was judging Israel at that time. And she lived under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel. And the sons of Israel went up to her for judgment, for justice. And she sent and called for Barak, the son of Abinoam, and said to him, "Has not Yahweh, the God of Israel, commanded, go and get some guys and go after this king," right? And Barak said to her, "If you go with me, then I will go. And if you will not go with me, I will not go." So he wanted to lean on her strength, on her power, because she could hear from God, that's a thing. That's major. God's word gives you a definite upper hand to be able to hear from him. So she said, "I will certainly go with you, only your glory shall surely not be." She's saying the glory is not going to go to you for what you're about to do, because Yahweh will sell Sisera, that's the general of the king of Canaan, into the hand of a woman. So she prophesied that a woman is going to really be the one to win this war. And she was not talking about herself. So she went up and she went with Barak. So he got all the guys together, and then Sisera got all of his guys together, and so Deborah told him, "You're going to win. Yahweh is with you, and he has gone out in front of you, and you're going to win." So he went down with his guys to take on the opposite army. And Yahweh routed Sisera and all the chariots and all the army by the mouth of the sword before Barak. So Sisera came down from his chariot and ran on his feet. That's how bad they were getting beaten. And Barak pursued the chariots and went after the army. And all the army of Sisera fell by the mouth of the sword. There was not even one left. And Sisera fled on his feet to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, because there was peace between Jabin, the king, Sisera's king, and the house of this guy. So Jael went out to meet Sisera and said to him, "Come in here and don't be afraid." So he went into her tent, and she covered him with a rug, which was probably just a thick blanket. And he said to her, "Please give me a little water to drink. I am thirsty." She got a skin of milk and gave him some milk and covered him up. And he said, "Stand in the door of the tent. If anyone comes and asks you, say that there's no one here." So she, once he was asleep, she took a tent peg, a big old tent peg. It wasn't any toy like we have now, because it had to hold actual stuff, and took a hammer in her hand and went to him quietly, and she drove the peg into his temple, and she beat it into the ground. And he had been fast asleep and faint, and he died. So then Barak was chasing Sisera, and Jael went out and said, "Hey, I got the guy." So he came in and saw that he was dead. So that's two women in the same story that were the Proverbs 31 woman, the Isha Chayil, woman of a force, woman of strength and courage. And there's a ton more, but I just wanted to show you guys that because of Happy International Women's Day. Okay.